welcome to my channel. I'm excited for a new interview today, and today I have an artist with me. I have Chiara Gomiselli with me, a good friend and an amazing artist, and I'm very excited to speak with her about the liberation through art. She has an amazing journey. She did an amazing trip that many people would dream of, but I don't want to take away too much up front, so I will introduce her first. Welcome, Chiara. So good to have you here.
Hi everyone. Hi Sylvia. Thank you for inviting me. It's really exciting to be here, and thanks for your words.
Thank you so much for being here. I met Chiara in 2019 at the Mind Valley University. That was our first encounter. And then later on, we met in a very intimate place at the Love Out Loud retreat by Nicole Gibson, which was in Italy, which was an amazing breakthrough journey that we joined. So that was where our friendship started. Chiara, tell us a little bit about yourself and of course about your big journey, the Grand Sketching Tour through Italy that you did with a motorcycle. Just tell us a little bit about your whole journey.
Yes, so where to start? Actually, we met when I just had decided to change completely my life and to follow my dream of painting and drawing and writing and being an artist as a profession. And since then, things evolved in several ways. And yeah, we met when you the Love Loud retreat that you mentioned. It's the place where I had just started the tour. I think I was touring for 10 days when we met. And actually, I think that retreat really gave me some energy for continuing, and I think it really changed the things, and it really allowed me to do a tour in a more deep and connect way. So it was a very nice experience, that one. But let's say what my tour is about. I started. I'm from Trieste, which is in the northeast part of Italy, on the border with Slovenia, and I decided I got my motorcycle a few years ago, a few years before that date, but not that many. And I didn't use it that much. So I decided, why not go to tour Italy all by myself with my motorcycle so I can use it a bit. And in the meanwhile, I can paint in, I use mostly watercolor and ink because, yeah, it's my preference, the mean of art that I use. And the aim of the tour was to go and search for those places that are not the typical touristic places that everybody knows, but go for searching for the smaller places, the small cities and towns. And I think the idea behind it was that there is beauty everywhere, and you can really find it if you try to look for it. So that was my idea, to go and search and just stop mostly randomly and following the instinct to the places. I mean, I didn't have a plan before starting or anything. I even choose like day by day. I even sometimes stop and said, oh, there is a name that I like, so let's go to this small town or whatever. And it was very, very exciting, and it came out pretty interesting at the end.
And what happened at the end of the journey? What was the outcome of your whole experience? Because you really put it together in a beautiful way.
Well, what happened is that my basic idea was to travel all the way through Italy to get to Sicily. As you may know, Sicily, that is the island in the south. And being in the south is warmer weather. So I said, okay, I can get to Sicily, so I can travel also some part of the winter, and then I will just stop for the winter, and then I will start again in spring, right? And then what happened is that I did stop in Sicily. I found a very nice place to live in, and I started getting new friends and stuff. And then I finished my paintings. At the end, in 4 months of my tour, I painted almost 200 paintings. And I visited in 120 cities or something like that, 100, 120. And then I already started with the idea of writing a book. I didn't have clear the idea. The idea at the beginning was just to write, to make a book out of the paintings with maybe small writing, small just, description of places. But then when I was there, actually what happened is also that COVID happened. So I got stuck there, and it was a very nice place to be stuck in, actually. And then I started developing more the stories around the places, and more just going and searching for more information about the places I visited, and then remembering the things that happened during the trip. And so it came out a book that is a mix of the painting and the stories. And the stories are a mix of the history of the places and like a travel journal, and some part of like an artistic journal, because sometimes I also come up with why do I choose a subject, what do I feel when I paint, and stuff like this. And then the amazing thing is that when I finished writing, the lockdown here in Italy finished, and I managed to go out. And I discovered there was a publishing house like 300 meters from my place. So I just said, you know what, let's go and let's show them some paintings and tell them that I wrote the text. And they really loved the project. And so we started working together. The book initially was in English, then they asked me to translate it. So now it's both in English and Italian. And then what happened is that it was too long, because of course almost 200 paintings it would have been like an encyclopedia, not a book. So we decided to make 2 books. So the first one, March last year, and now I'm just finishing the touching, and it's gonna be published in a couple of months. Probably the beginning of May is gonna be out.
The second one.
The second one, yes.
Oh my God! Wow. Yeah, when I listen to your story, I'm just so fascinated, because it's lockdown. So many people are frustrated with their jobs, or maybe with their lives as well, and many people don't have this the guts, let's say, to really change something and go for their dreams. And I just love the story, how it started, and that you took the time, you took what you had the motorcycle, and you just decided, hey, I'm going for my dreams. I always wanted to be an artist, and I'm just doing this. And I also like that you explored your own home country. I know you're traveling a lot. You're also very much obsessed with personal development. But why did you want to explore your home country? What was the magic in that?
Well, I suppose that it was, I don't like to drive that much, which is weird considering the project I took on. So I didn't really want to have to do long distance drives, and I really wanted to go and do many things nearby. So also because I think, as you said, I travel a lot. I lived in different countries, and most of the time I visited mostly foreign countries, and I didn't visit Italy that much, especially the small places. Also linked to the fact that small places, it's harder to reach them by public transportation, and usually I use only public transportation, train and buses. And this time I did have my motorcycle, so I could have more freedom to choose exactly what to visit. And yeah, it made sense, because sometimes we just run around and we just go look for beautiful things far away, or something that maybe is other people tells us that is beautiful, or society thinks you are cool if you go there. And I just wanted to have the freedom to choose what to explore, and to give value to those places that are they are beautiful, and they have a lot of maybe traditions, and they stayed more the way they are, and people there are more genuine in a way. So I really felt it would be a more intimate travel this way. And yeah, and then if I can be a bit campanilistic, I mean, Italy is such a beautiful country that why to go away if I can be here and be near, right? So
true.
Actually, now they are asking me, so you finished? And I said, no, actually, I think I would never be finished with Italy because, I mean, there is so much stuff to see. You can really stop every 50 kilometers and find something beautiful and historical importance, and or something that is traditionally important. So yeah, I think it's a journey that it's going to be a lifelong.
And I like what you said, that you had the freedom to choose what's beautiful or where you see the beauty in, and you just stopped and gave it attention and value, and now published it even. So I think it's a beautiful metaphor of there's everywhere beauty, and so many times we run through life or we travel far and we don't even take the time to look at the beauty that surrounds us, or don't take the time to really, to really dive into it. As an artist, I guess you spend a couple of hours or maybe half a day looking at one place, really studying it, and what happens in this moment or in the process of art. Yeah, how did it feel in the process?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I started, because I'm not as I said, I changed my life completely 4 years ago, and I come from a degree in economics and finance, and then I didn't want to do finance. So I always had this rebel strike in me. So I was, because, I studied finance because, my brother was in that field, and he said, oh, it's a really good field to be for having a safe job and getting the money and blah, blah, blah. And so I started that, and then I didn't want to do it. So I changed and I went to do event organization. So I was not used to draw and paint anymore. And what happened actually, when I was working in this event organization, we went for a trip. I think it was actually in Odessa, and there was an architect that was drawing, we were at dinner and he was drawing the people at the table, and then he was having breakfast in a nice place and he drew the palace in front of him. And so I said, wow, that's so cool, because usually I like to take pictures, but then I go back and I never look back at the pictures I take. I take 1,000 pictures and then they are there, and I'm never gonna watch them. And I thought, this is so cool, because you're really there and you really have to be in the moment when you draw, and and I don't know, I really felt that it would be, drawing the places would make so much more of a connection with the places and the emotion you experience in the places. So I had this intuition, and actually that's exactly what happens, because if I look at any paintings I did on location, I really can remember whatever happened in the place. And I don't have a good memory usually. So, people tell me I went on vacation with, oh, we went to Lisbon. And actually, if I look back to the picture, I don't remember many places I've been, but the 2 or 3 drawing that I really sketched very fast, even if it was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, and then it started raining, and then this happened, and then this happened. And then I noticed that bell tower was different than the other. And then it's really capturing and bringing me into the moment. So it gives you really this presence that I find it very difficult to find otherwise, because I tend to run around like crazy. So I think, learning to draw, especially on location, is something that brought me to be much more present, and to learn to watch and to observe and to see things. Even now it happens that I arrive at the end of a painting and then I realize I totally messed it up, because I look at it and then the first impression, and then I start painting, and then I go with my ideas, and then I realize that, I don't know, I remember one time it happened that I was painting a church, and of course, I don't know how it's called, I think it's the rose window, the one at the top that usually is on the side. And of course, I painted, and it was the bell tower, and then I painted a church, and then there is in the drawing there is this rose window that is circle. And then I started draw it, and then I started painting it, and then almost at the end of the painting, I realized that the window actually was square and it was not circular. And I was like, "Whoa! How the hell did it happen?" You know. And even if I was drawing, I was there in the presence, I still try to go faster than it was needed. So yeah, and it happens so often that it's drawing is a really nice way to slow down.
Wow, I like that you said that drawing is a really nice way to slow down. And also you mentioned how it was a beautiful way to connect. And nowadays, most of the things are online, digital, but there's such a big craving also for offline and exploration. And even though you were in your home country, you went to completely new places, or you had to arrange and manage. And how was it for you? I mean, even stopping in a public place and building everything up and painting. I can imagine that it takes some confidence to say, "Hey, I'm an artist, I paint here now," and when the people are coming. How did you manage all that?
Well, I mean, well, I have to say that I'm a lion as a zodiacal sign, so I like the tension. Because maybe I started just because of that. No, but I mean, it's something that many people that start, they said, "Oh, you know, it's good if we go in group. It's good because by myself I cannot do it." And it's definitely something that it's a challenge when you start, because yeah, because it's strange. It's not. It especially depends where you are. Because if you're in a big city, like for example, I saw that in Rome, in Florence, like there are more. It's more common to see, because maybe there is a big academy, and there is big important schools of art. So there are a lot of artists around and go, and so painting outside is a really good exercise also for artists in general. And so they do it in school too. So it's more common in certain places, but in the small ones, it's definitely strange. And yeah, sometimes you feel sometimes you can feel the pressure a bit more, because you feel, oh, and if people are gonna come, they're gonna want to see something nice, and I have to do it right, because you know. But at the end, I noticed that when I start, maybe I have these thoughts at the beginning, but then when I start, it's all goes away, and you really get into the flow. And you know, 1 hour passed, and you are like, oh yeah, I'm almost finished. And yeah, and you finish, and you realize that you were present. So it's not that you are away, but you're so concentrated into the flow that you don't really notice things that happen around you. But actually also it doesn't happen that much that people notice you, to tell you the truth. And sometimes it's strange. And I noticed that, for example, kids come immediately if there are kids around, they're gonna come and look. And I mean, I had kids staying like 20 minutes top there and looking when I was painting, you know, and parents trying to bring them away. And it's like, and it's interesting, because it shows that art is something that is really inside of us, and is something that we like it. I mean, I think it's something that is recognized as a need, or as a thing that we like, that we enjoy, and that we maybe want to do it. And so that's why I think kids, it's easier for them to stop, because yeah, I mean, it's something that for them is normal, right? And adults, many times it happens that they stop and they say, oh, that the times that they stop, they say that it's nice and whatever, I wish I could do it, but I'm not able to draw, I'm not able to hold a pencil, And it's really sad in a way, because I think it's something that painting, but creativity in general, I think it's something that is a human need, and it's so often destroyed, or like, how do you say, like suffocated by our society. And when I hear these phrases, it really feels like, oh, I'm sorry for you, because, you know, if you say something like that, it means that you wish you could, but you don't allow yourself to do it. So yeah, it's sad.
I found this sentence on your website: art is for everyone and it speaks through emotions. And I mean, many people find it difficult to connect to their own emotions or to understand what's going on inside of them. And I know about you that your personal development journey started first before your inner artist kind of really came out and awakened, right? So what did you think did it take for you to awaken that artist, to bring it out? Like, what was the steps that you went through?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a mix, because actually I started drawing, going back the thing that I told you that I started in the architect drawing, etc., started before. And then I started the personal development growth. But then through the personal development growth, I think my art grew, because I put more the emotion, or I was at least more conscious of what I was putting into the art. And then it gave me the strength to choose and to change. And I really realized what I wanted to do, even if before I had these ideas, but I never had courage, or I never believed in myself enough. So I think through the personal growth, it was definitely through the courses and personal growth that I found the strength in myself to change completely and to go and follow this vision, this mission. But also I think that through the awareness, also things change in the painting. At least I think it changes what you want to communicate. Actually, in a way, it got even harder, because now there is even more expectations, right? Because before I was just, oh, I just want to make a drawing that is nice, and then it shows something, and I shows the paint, the building or whatever. Now it's like, oh, but I wish I could communicate something and the feelings and the things. So sometimes it gets even harder. So I'm still in the place in which I cannot take away the mind enough into the process many times. And I think this is something that I'm working on in this last period, because sometimes I get stuck in my head, and it's not so good for making art.
Yeah, you said that, like, actually the art takes you to the present moment, and every time, like, centers you. You mentioned before that actually, because you're painting with watercolor, and I know it's not something you well, it has to go right almost instantly, right? It's not a super long process. It's quite fast. Like, how did you deal with that? And it's also not that controllable, I guess. So it's kind of like, I guess, challenging to really go with the flow. How was it for you?
Well, actually, that's exactly why I choose watercolor, and that's exactly why I love watercolor, because it's a reminder that we don't have the control, that we have to go to the flow. We can build things, but we don't have the control, and we have to work with what we have. So for me, that I tend to be a person, it's strange because I'm a very weird person. So I tend to be very organized and very controlling, but at the same time, I'm very also, I don't have passions, and I want results immediately, and I want to get through the faster way. So in the beginning, I choose watercolor because it was faster, because you'll get there, and it's exactly. You have one try, and if you don't get it, it's off, and you start again. But then you really learn to stay in the present, and you see what you can control and what you cannot control, and you really yeah, I really learned through watercolor. I really learned to bring this into life. At least I try. That's at least, again, it made me aware that it's like this, so that I can be more aware in life that when I do it and when I don't do it.
Well, listening to you, I really get a feeling of how art is a practice that can teach you so much, right? And how it's an ongoing journey, and how you learn while you're doing every time. It's a very practical thing, because you're doing something, you're creating. Many people, when they want to start something new, they can get stuck, or have this terror barrier or fear, and they don't get started with whatever project they want to take on. And you really went for not only for every single painting and for every journey to the painting in a physical way, but also to publish it in the end, and to really take every painting again, write a text for it, and finish the whole process. Is there anything that you would like to say to the people who are, who maybe feel there is something they want to express, or they're just in the beginning of whatever creation process it is, and they might be just needing a little push to get started? What would you tell to them?
Well, I think that everybody can do it. As you said, is a practice. So it's there is a lot of technique, but the cool thing about technique is that you can decide how much you want to put it into it. So you can have amazing results just sitting down and paint and follow your emotions. Usually what happens is that it depends on the person. For example, I see that there is a part of me that there are the moments in which I start to use more like I sit down and paint, etc. And then I realize that there is something I need to learn more, maybe about drawing, maybe about how to use the watercolor, maybe a different technique to solve some problems. And then I go back to the studying and more like practice and doing the exercises more times. And then it gets again like, okay, that's enough, not technique anymore. I want to be free. So I think what I could say is that if you feel, if there is a part of you that says, I wish I could do it, then I would say do it, because everybody can do it. Start from somewhere, start playing, because at the end creativity is a lot about playing. It doesn't need to be good, it doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to be beautiful. It's just the experience that counts, and it can be the having fun, or maybe even sometimes it can be exploring yourself through art. So it depends also what you want to do with it. But yeah, and it's in general, I don't say it also, I think everybody has this creativity need inside, but it can be expressed in different way. So it can be art, it can be painting, but if whatever you feel that you said, oh, I wish I could, then just do it, because that's something you need to do.
I absolutely loved in the beginning when you said like, oh yeah, my brother said finance is good, so I did finance, and then, oh yeah, I'm going to event management, I'm doing this. And when was the moment that you really decided, hey, I came to be an artist, so I'm going to be an artist? And was it straight away that you had this realization in one moment, I'm an artist? Or was it something that you grew into? What is the difference? What makes an artist?
That's an easy question. Well, for me, I think it was a journey. It was there was this need of draw. When all my life, what happened is that I tried many things, and I did a lot of sports, and I was changing every year, and I did a lot of other things, and oh, I try this and I try that, and etc. But then when I started drawing, it's the only thing that I brought forward for now it's 12, 13 years. And usually I stop after 6 months, 1 year. So you can see the difference. I mean, I don't feel, so I was even surprised because it was the first time that I didn't feel tired of something. And I wanted to learn more and go deeper. So I think this was the first sign that was my path. But I think the switch to turn it into a professional, being a professional, and changing from wanting to do just, oh, I want to be technically good and do something nice, to the thing of I want to express something that is inside me through my art. I think that happened after a series of experiences, and I did have to find the strengths and, you know, the self-value and the self-esteem in a way. So I had to grow into myself to get to the point in which I could say, okay, let's do it. And yeah.
Beautiful. You said you had to grow into yourself in order to do it. And yesterday when we had like a pre-conversation for the interview, you said there's a difference between pretending and being. And it's not about the technique, you said, it's more about this awareness of who am I? And I really loved when you said that.
Yeah, I think it's like that for everything. I mean, we know what we are, but we have so many layers on top that are given us, and it's really hard to get rid of them most of the time. And it's a probably lifelong journey, but it takes courage, and yeah, it's but it's good. I mean, there are up and downs, but at the end, it's the feeling in general, even when you are low, it's yeah, but I'm on the right path. So that's a good feeling, a good place to be.
Wow, and I loved what you said before about, you know, was it sports or whatever you did, you changed, but when you found your passion, you knew, hey, this is something that will stick around. It's like finding your true love. It's like, yeah, that's the one. That's what I want to stick with. And when you shared that, I mean, I could really feel it. Oh, wow. And many people are looking for their purpose or the medium through what they can express themselves. Do you have any recommendation for them? What does it take to go into this quest to find your calling?
I think it takes a bit of yeah, a bit of courage, of you know, of following the instincts most of the time, the intuition, because many times, you know, you read a piece of paper or a newspaper article or advertising or something, and there is something that clicks, but we let it go. And usually when something clicks, it means that there is something there that we need to explore. And many times we don't do it because, of course, oh, I'm already busy, I already have my things. And yeah, sometimes it takes the courage to let go of things that maybe since it's many things are about practice, everything is about practice. Maybe we practice for many years, we put many hours into the things. So we said, oh, but I'm gonna waste my time if I change. That's the same thing. It happens with a job. Maybe you are 10 years in a job, and maybe it's the job that you like, the career that you like. You know, you like marketing, you are in a job that is marketing. So I'm not saying it's only about the passion, or but at the same time, it's like, oh, I wish I could change. I wish I could do marketing in a different way, in a different field. But you said, oh, but I invested 10 years in this company and blah, blah, and if I go away, etc. Sometimes it's in relationships that, oh, but I invested so many years in this relationship. What happens if I go away? So I think it's a very delicate balance between understanding when it's the time to let go and when it's the time to, that is just that in what we are, we have to make the step forward to make it to the next level. For example, I'm thinking about the relationship, right? Is like there are the moments in which you can choose if you feel that it's the time to invest more or go deeper or find a different way, or if it's really the time to let go. So finding which one it's pretty complicated most of the time. But I think that, that learning to listen to the intuition is a really good thing, important thing.
Wow, yeah, very interesting, your thoughts on that. And I guess it's probably the same while painting also. There's probably this moment of, okay, is it finished now, the painting, or does it need a little bit more work? Is this the right place? From the whole process that you were taking us through, I could see many how do you say, many bridges to how you approach life and how it trains to stay in the present, learn to use your instinct, let your intuition guide you. And yeah, it sounds like it's a huge field of learning that you get through art also.
Yeah. Maybe one thing I want to add is, let's not, I mean, I know it's art, but maybe it's easier if we call it creativity, because sometimes we get scared because art is Michelangelo and Picasso and Leonardo or whoever is the famous painter in your place. But maybe if we call it creativity, there is not so much pressure, right? So yeah, and that's I didn't find another word that can fit in, because creativity is much wider. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to, especially at the beginning, to take away the pressure of comparing to, we don't need to get there. I mean, they are them and we are us. So we have to find our own way of expression, and it doesn't matter whatever we are, wherever we get, until what's the right word? The important thing is that we are true to ourselves and we stay in our authenticity, in what we really feel we need to be doing, which is art. I'm not saying that it's which is complicated.
Wow, that's almost like a last statement. I really love that, what you just said. Mm-hmm. And also what you said about the comparison. I mean, people say comparison is the death of all progress. And then you mentioned before that the children, they stopped naturally when you were painting and they were fascinated by it. And then they went for their curiosity and this process of seeing that something is developing in front of their eyes, and they felt naturally drawn to the creativity. So to really see the world again with our children's eyes, I think it's a great invitation to just, follow your intuition, what you said earlier on.
Yeah, I think they have all the answers and we take them away from them. Poor kids.
I guess, I can imagine that many people who will watch this interview might be encouraged to get started or want to know more about your art. Is there any way to get more into contact with you, or do you also offer courses, or is it possible to get your book or see your paintings and to join a little bit more your journey?
Yeah, sure, of course. I have my brand that is called Chiara Go Arts. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have my own website, and on the website there is also the button for the WhatsApp, so you can reach me there. Maybe it's the easiest way, if you don't mind sharing the telephone number. Otherwise, you can find my email, and I would love to get in touch and to get to know. Yeah, of course, my book is available for, I think it should be on Amazon for the foreigner, for the English version. It depends on the countries, etc. But you can also reach me for that. And yeah, I think it's everything is on the website, and I would love to also I would love to see feedbacks from what we talk about. And I would like to say that if people saw this video and they feel like they would like to have informations about how to get started, they can just write me, and I will just see what could be the a good way to approach a journey, in case I'm not doing courses right now. So, but I can definitely give some advice to where to search for.
Oh, thank you. That's a great invitation. So if anybody wants to start and wants to have a little bit of help with the journey, or wants to get inspired by the artist itself, and then yeah, please reach out to Chiara. That would be great.
Yeah.
Chiara, do you have one last word that you want to say to the people on their journey? Or maybe what is the best thing about art that fills your heart?
Well, it's I think I don't know, maybe it's it feels a bit kitschy to say, but art is life and life is art. So it's because it's all about the emotions and living them and expressing them at the end, right? So, and yeah, it's all about that.
Beautiful. And I have two last questions that I always ask. I would like to ask you to finish the sentence: freedom is
everything.
The world would be better if
we would focus more on love and cooperation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sylvia.